In the immortal words of the Doors, the time to hesitate is through.
Oh,
Plexi.
you're so sexy.
Hello, baby.
Hi, what are you doing?
Rien du tout.
Well, do you want to come over?
Pourquoi pas? You call me on my coffin with a je ne sais quoi. You say you need a little of my ooh-la-la. I know you get lonely in your canopy bed. Well, say no more, baby, I'll be running everywhere. Say no more, more no more. I'll bring my loving right to your front door. Here I come, baby, je t'adore. Let's have a kissing, baby. Say no more.
I think I've put this one off long enough. Today, I'm not having a look at G1 Metroplex. I'm not even having a look at the awesome Cybertron Metroplex. Nope, today I am looking at 30th anniversary Generations Metroplex. Oh. Yes everyone, sat on my knee here, and he quite literally is sat on my knee, is the immensely awesome Generations Metroplex, who I shall be taking a look at very shortly. But before I do that, I'm going to have a quick look at Metroplex's tiny little companion. Yes, this is Scamper, the 30th anniversary renewed, rejigged and remade Scamper. And he's quite a nice little car mode. He does have some nice paint apps on his back here, and he's got 6 wheels as we've come to know and love from Scamper. He's about the size of a normal Cyberverse figure. Just a comparison, here he is with Cyberverse Smokescreen. And you can see there that they're pretty much the same size, although Scamper is a bit wider. He's basically this wide because the designers somehow thought it was a good idea to put his arms on the side of his car mode. It's interesting to think that in the 27 years since the last Scamper was built, they haven't actually thought of a better way to hide his arms. Aye, well I couldn't figure out where to put his arms, so I just sort of take them off and stick them on the top like. Aye, well I couldn't figure out where to put his arms, so I thought we'd just stick them down the side and hope no one noticed. Here are the two Scampers together, and you can see that they're actually fairly similar in size, with the G1 Scamper being slightly longer but a little bit narrower, and that's mostly due to his arms here. And here we have Scamper in his robot mode, which is actually a really nice mode. He's got a lovely little red head, and he turns out to be quite a decent sized little Cyberverse figure. It's worth mentioning that he comes with this little double barreled gun too, which is actually really nice, and has this teeny tiny little seat moulded in on the top of it, which is a bit weird. He can hold said gun in either hand, or you can stick it on his back for a bit more Bruticus style. Again, here he is with the G1 Scamper, and actually they're exactly the same size in bot mode. They're actually equally as cool as each other. I like both of them quite a lot. Right, now that's out of the way, it's time to take a look at the big boy himself. I just want to apologise in advance. There is a possibility I might turn into American style jazz hands in the next segment. That's because he's so big that I can't really fit myself and him on the camera at the same time, but you shall see. This is Metroplex in arguably his weakest mode. It's not particularly great if I'm being honest, but this is obviously his battle carrier mode, or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's worth mentioning straight off the bat that this thing is bloody massive. It's also insanely detailed. There is a lot of stuff going on here. It is basically just Metroplex sat down with his legs out. Here we have the ramp, and you can pull this down and make Scamper come out of it, which doesn't really work very well, but you know. There's Scamper, just as a size comparison. He's got guns here, he's got guns here, he's got guns here. This version of Metroplex is so huge, you can fit the original one on in the same mode with space to spare. It's ridiculous. Absolutely massive thing. It's worth noting that there are actually a few other things you can do in that mode by putting extra guns on and doing bits and bobs and all sorts of things. There's a little arm that comes out, but really, you're never going to have them in that mode, are you? So what does it really matter? But we mustn't dwell. No, not today. Not on Plex Manning Day! Right, on to the next mode, which is City Mode. Do you know a lot of people aren't really keen on this City Mode? I think it's awesome. I absolutely love this mode. It's built to fit Cyberverse figures, and you can see Tailgate there. Moving along, see some of the detail that goes inside here is ridiculous. Lots of cool stickers. Moving back up, there's an awesome gun here. This gun goes backwards and forwards, which is pretty sweet. You've got the giant tower. There's Scamper, look. Metroplex's head becomes some sort of targeting gun system when he's in base mode, which is pretty cool. There's two sort of weird guns here. No idea what they're for. And coming down, got Smokescreen sitting in here. He's watching something on the telly. So yeah, I absolutely love this base mode. I think it is awesome. One problem is just like basically got his fist out here. Again, if you compare him with the original Metroplex's base mode, it's pretty accurate, to be fair. Size wise, it's just not even comparable. It's absolutely ridiculous size. Before I show him off in his bot mode, which is basically the main event, I just want to take some time to show you his massive gun that was not meant in a sexual way. This gun is huge. Absolutely huge. And it is awesome. Here's a quick size comparison between the new Metroplex's gun and the G1 Metroplex's gun. They're completely mismatched. Totally mismatched. Metroplex also comes with these two pistol guns which attach onto his shoulders if you need them to. And they're really cool as well. They sort of replace the black ones from the original. And again, you can see the size difference there is just off the scale. It's ridiculous. Titan class rules! One pretty cool thing about this gun is the ridiculous amount of detail on it. It's got a little control tower up here. And like a nice sort of painted bit here. It could quite easily be some sort of Star Destroyer from Star Wars or something. The gun also fires a missile, but it's still not powerful enough to knock over the Ultimate Warrior.
Nothing can stop the power of the Ultimate Warrior!
Here he is, the big bad boy himself, in his bot mode, and he is gigantic. I'm not talking big, I'm not even talking large, I am talking ridiculously huge. Absolutely amazing bot, this guy. His head sculpt is awesome. Totally reminiscent of the Fall of Cybertron Metroplex. He's got the biggest chin this side of Jimmy Hill and he looks amazing. You'll notice he's got like a red visor over his eyes. This can be moved, but I think he looks a little bit like that kid at school who used to wear glasses and then got contact lenses. Just a little bit weird, or a bit like myself. These bits flip forward to make a little cockpit. I think this is predominantly for base mode, but I tend to keep Scamper here in robot mode so I don't lose him. He sits in there quite happily. You can armplex he to the teeth as well, should you feel the need. Putting the big shoulder mounted cannons on either side there, and also giving him his massive gun. Just like the G1 Metroplex, this bit also flips down and reveals nout. There is a bank of missiles in there, but it's just all white plastic, so it really doesn't show and it just looks a bit rubbish. Which is a real shame because I absolutely love the chromed missile launchers on the original G1 Metroplex. I think they look absolutely amazing. You can also change him around a little and show him like I've got him here with his massive gun slung over his shoulder and the two pistols either side here in his hands. That actually looks a lot better to me. It's obligatory size comparison time. To give you an idea of the ridiculous size of this boy, here's a few different figures. Cyberverse Legion class Smokescreen, Cyberverse Commander class Bulkhead, Transformers Prime Deluxe Ratchet, and my absolutely gorgeous Armada Skywarp from Ray. And you can see they don't even come to his knee. He is pretty huge. And here he is with all the sexy plexis together. G1 Metroplex, Cybertron Metroplex, Generations Metroplex. Absolutely mental. Here he is for one last comparison, just for a laugh, with the previously biggest Transformer I owned in my collection, Unicron. And Unicron is roughly about half his size. In terms of articulation, Metroplex has got a ridiculous amount for something this big. It's got a gigantic knee bend, a nice clicky knee swivel. He moves at the hip, forwards and backwards, and also outwards. He has quite a lovely waist swivel. Oh, some nice ratchets. The shoulders go out and also do 360 that way. There's a bicep swivel. Oh, that is satisfying. An elbow bend. Lovely articulated hands, including each finger and thumb, which totally lets you flip the bird Maverick style.
Just as dead. Yeehaw!
His head's on a really nice swivel, but perhaps the most amazing thing about Metroplex is that he actually has articulated eyes. I'll let that sink in for a second. Articulated eyes. Metroplex has electronics, which are accessed by pressing this button here. He's got quite a few different sounds and phrases and things like that. But one of the things it does is it makes his eyes light up. There's a tab on the back of his head, which will let you move the direction of the LEDs. which is just insane. Absolutely insane. Metroplex has some awesome electronics, and he comes with a variety of different sounds and phrases, such as
These Decepticons scatter like cowards.
yes, they do.
Metroplex heeds the call of the last prime.
That just gives you goosebumps, doesn't it?
Babylon 5's a big pile of shit.
Fair enough. So is Metroplex worth getting? I say yes, he is. I spent 130 quid on him at Auto Assembly, and I'm not regretting that at all. I absolutely love this guy. He's immense, and he's basically the main showpiece of my entire collection. I think he's supposed to be something like 125 or 120 quid in Toys R Us. And if you can afford it, definitely go for it, because he's stunning. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, the alt mode isn't really all that great, but I do like the city mode. I think the city mode is very well accomplished, and it looks awesome. But really, you're just buying him for the bot mode, and the bot mode is sublime. If I have one issue, it's this. He does find it a little hard to hold his own weight sometimes, but that's only when you've got him in weird positions. On the whole, Metroplex is an exceptional figure, and something that I never dreamed Hasbro would ever come up with. From the second I saw him, I knew he was going to be one of my grails, and to achieve that was awesome. My advice is, if you can find him, buy him, because he's awesome. And I love him to bits. Mwah. Right, this has been Mikey Grimlock, and thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all again soon. Bye!